Hey, what's up? I'm back. Hi. I would have been back sooner, but the day that I wanted to film, my dog had a 2 hour barking fit because we had a bear right outside of our unit. So he was going off. So couldn't do it that day. So I'm here today and welcome back. And yeah, I'm super excited. And I took a look at the first video and I was like thinking that somebody might be thinking, now, what is a middle-aged Black woman doing in the mountains in California? Like, how did you get there? And that's what I wanted to touch on. How did I get here? How did I even get in my financial predicament, honestly, right? Because that's what we want to talk about. Well, that's what I want to talk about. And whoever wants to join, like I said, we're going to be talking about how did I even, like, what are the mistakes, right? Because the goal, like I said, is to get out of this predicament. And you're going to watch me get out of this predicament because I refuse to stay in it, right? But how did I get there? Like, what was I doing all these 47, almost 48 years that got me to this point? And it's not a whole life full of bad mistakes, a whole life full of failures. It's not that at all. A lot of it is setbacks. A lot of it is things that you didn't see coming, like your mom passing away, things like that. So I think I'm going to do a 2-part video. I'm going to do this one and then the next one. And I don't like long videos. I don't like watching long videos. So I don't want to keep you forever. So I'm going to do a 2-part, just like trying to like give a good rundown of like who I am so that you can understand kind of where I'm coming from or just get to know me in general. And then as we get further along, in my videos and in my story, I'm sure I'll be touching points about my history, my background. But just this video and probably the next one is going to be of like, how the heck did I get here? Or I might be able to fit it in this one. I don't know. So yeah, how did I get here? So born in Washington, D.C. to immigrant parents. And it wasn't the sexy, everything. I'm going to be saying sexy a lot. So if you don't like it, sorry. But it wasn't that, right? I didn't have the immigrant parents that were, they came to USA and they had a laundromat, a hair salon, and all these things, No, it wasn't that at all. It was immigrant parents that struggled the whole way through. Honestly, up until my mom's dying breath, no lie, was a struggle for her life, right? And my mother used to say this a lot, and there's power in our words, and that's some more stuff that I want to get into, as I develop this channel. Is just like, I know there's a lot of this out there already, but that's okay because whoever I'm for, whoever my channel's for, whoever's going to find me is who it's going to be for, right? So I'm okay if it sounds repetitive with other YouTubers. I'm okay with that. It's like shopping, right? You want the blue shirt, not the purple shirt. That kind of thing. So all that to say is my mom used to always say, she's no longer with us. She's with the Lord Jesus. Thank God. Hallelujah. That she got saved before, she passed away. Many years she got saved before she passed away. But she used to always say my middle name is Struggle. And there's like power in our words. And sometimes I wonder, that affected some parts of her life. And we're not going to sit here and talk about that. But what I do want to talk about is just, that's the environment that I was brought up in, to immigrant parents who didn't speak English very well. My mom had to go to like a, what's the 2-year school? I forgot what you call that. Community college. She went to community college to learn English. My dad never formally went anywhere to learn English. He learned it on the street, on TV, at the jobs, So my dad, not the perfect dad. You'll hear about that, but kudos to anybody who could learn English. It's not an easy language. I used to teach English. You'll learn about that too. So kudos to anybody who could do that, right? So I have that as the beginning. Immigrant parents coming to this country, not an amazing situation, and just was survival the whole way through for them, right? So that's what I'm coming into. So I remember. Also, we'll just touch on this point just a little bit, just to know a little bit of my history. For me, I was 3 years old. That's my earliest memory of ever seeing my parents, seeing other humans, right? My earliest memory of being Patricia, right? I remember my mom, she was combing my hair, and my dad, I was like in between her legs, and my dad stormed in the room from where the next room that he was in. We were in an apartment. and he storms in the room angry, and my 3-year-old self had no idea why. And he just like not slams, but like turns the TV off on us, so aggressive. And I remember that. That was my first memory of ever being alive, right? Or understanding like I'm on planet Earth with these people that God put me with, right? And I was so angry that he did that. I remember at 3 years old, fuming inside, just so angry that he did that. And then I got angry more because I remember my mom not saying anything. So that starts a whole journey of just like anger. I just spent a lot of my childhood just being angry, just so angry. From early on, I didn't like injustice. I felt that was wrong and something had to be done. Something had to be done. At 3 years old, I needed to do something. At that time, I didn't do anything, but I know throughout the years, growing up with my parents and our situation, and I have 2 other siblings that, I was always the outspoken one because I felt like something just always had to be done. Like, you can't just get away with this. I don't care if you're my dad, right? So that's that. Growing up angry, and of course, anger and hurt go hand in hand, those kinds of things. Not knowing that my dad was an alcoholic until later when he was passed out on the ground. I just thought he was sleeping when I was younger. Then you grow up and you realize, oh, it's alcoholism. Okay. Didn't know that. And then learning that the angry outbursts and abuse and all of these things were as a result of alcohol. I'll probably touch on these things a little bit more. I don't know, but I wanted to bring up just a little bit of that background, but then I wanted to just share that, and then just, getting older and growing up, the whole upbringing was a struggle. And when I say struggle, most of this channel for now, at least, is just going to talk about the financial part. And actually, no, it's going to talk about everything, right? We're going to keep it real up in here, right? Authentically yours, Patricia. So we're going to talk about everything, but right now I'm talking about financial. So I remember that my mom, a lot of times when we were in the supermarket, and you know how at the register, you always have like those things that kids want last minute, and they put it there purposely so parents have to give in. My mother never gave in. I would always pick something up or whatever I wanted or whatever. And her famous words in her accent was, "We can't afford it. We can't afford it." And that's all I heard growing up. We can't afford it. We can't afford it. So, and then I remember also times where my dad, he was the one that did the bills stuff. They both worked, right? But he did the bills. And I remember every time he would sit and do the bills. After he's done, he's angry. And maybe he went to go drink after that. I don't know. I don't remember. I don't remember a lot of my childhood. I don't know if it's blackout. I don't know what it is, but whatever. I don't remember everything. But I just remember those things like, we can't afford it. We can't afford it. Things like that. Or just seeing my dad tense and stressed. And then, and then I notice I'm that way right now, today. So I'm just saying all these things to say, to help us, for whoever, again, this is for, this ain't for you, just, bye. But for whoever this is for, let's just start pardon the English. I was an English teacher, I said, right? Let's start thinking about where did I get this behavior? Where did I get this thought process? We can't afford it. We can't afford it. Or getting tense when, it's time to pay the bills. Or even when you get your paycheck, you're still tense. Or if you're going to check your bank account, you're tense. It's just be monitoring our reactions and how we're doing things that are in relation to money. You know what I'm saying? So we'll talk about other things too, but let's just be thinking about that stuff. I don't want to keep you guys long forever, but that's kind of in a nutshell, where the beginnings are with me for money. I don't ever recall my parents involving us in budget. Parents today, they're sitting down with their kids and they're talking about money and talking about all kinds of things. I don't recall that. I don't even recall like having conversations really with my parents. I really felt like, and my brother and sister might agree with me, that we were spoken to. You know what I mean? Like not like spoken with, like in a group. We were spoken to. It was always like some kind. I don't know. Raise your hand if you had like immigrant parents that were just like, I don't know what you call it. It's funny now, and my cousins and I and my siblings, we laugh at it now, but for real, yo, when you think about it, it's painful stuff, but they did the best they could with what they had. So we didn't talk about money, right? I didn't know about their bank account. I didn't know what was happening. The only thing I did know was when they bought a house, my siblings and I were already teenagers at that time. I think I was an early teenager. I just knew that they shouldn't have. We were living in a community that it was a lot of immigrants there. Like, it just felt so supportive. And it, it was multicultural. And, we played outside and just felt like a community vibe, right? Then they wanted to move to a neighborhood that was like, pardon my white friends and white subscribers, but it was all like white people. We were just like, why are we going over there? And honestly, side story, that was the first time I was ever called the N-word. When we moved out of our little apartment community to the house, I never heard the N-word before that, to me, right? So, that was a little side story. So all I had to say is when they were getting things ready for the house, I remember they were counting their change jar. And God bless my parents. This is not a dig on them. This is just to have us be thinking like, where did our behaviors come from so that we can change them, so that we can get out of this stuff that we're in, right? And I'm still in it. You're going to watch me get out. You're going to literally watch me. I have the faith in God that he's going to help me. Not that he didn't help up to this point, but right now, in this point in history, we're going to get out of it. But first, we got to think about, how did it start, right? So anyway, they counted their change jar. That was like, they brought that, I guess, to whoever you bring it to. See, I don't have a house, so I don't even know all the process stuff, right? So they brought it to whoever they were bringing it to go and buy the house. And that hurt me. I remember I was young and I didn't say anything. I kept that all in my heart. Even if my siblings are watching this, they won't even know that I thought that, because I never shared this with anybody, right? So I was like, wow. And at that point, I was like, I don't think they should be getting the house, because I don't think you can afford it. We can't afford it, like Mom said, right? So they got the house. And from my perspective, everything went downhill even more than what it was, right? I feel like my dad's drinking got worse. I think based on behaviors, so many different things happened. We got to a new school, all these things, a new neighborhood, and all these things we have to navigate. Then my mom had to get a second job. I was like, you're doing all that just to get a house? I don't know if it's worth it. I don't know. And I always said to myself, if I can't leave my AC on to my heart's content, or my heat on to my heart's content, or my lights on, and I know we are not supposed to be wasteful. I get it, for whoever's out there like, you can't wait. Yes, I know. I'm just saying, but if I can't do it and I'm stressed that the lights are on, or stressed that the AC is still running, then I don't know if the house is for me yet. That's just me, because that's what I saw growing up. It was just so stressful. So that's just a little bit of a history. We'll get into some more, about my background as far as like college and graduate school, and why did I make those decisions and things like that, right? Because we're already at 14 minutes. And honestly, like I said, I don't like long videos, but I just wanted to give that little blurb, or whatever you call it, just for us to be thinking about, where did these behaviors come from? Maybe you already started doing that, or maybe you did that before and you fell off on that path. Where did these behaviors come from? And now let's try to unlearn and fix so we can get on the right path, right? I'm still on that journey. I'm still trying to understand myself at 47. Still trying to figure out, why do I do the things that I do? Why do I excel at the things that I excel at? Why do I fail at the things that I fail at? Or, whatever word you want to use, because I know failure can also be very positive. Don't get me wrong. So just things for us to be thinking about. And I want to end the video. But what I want to do at every ending of a video is talk about what I did, something in that week or 2 weeks, however the gap is between videos. Like I said in the last one, like to progress, right? Because that's a challenge for myself and for you. Like if you're going to get on and like, oh, let me see what Patricia's up to, you best come correct, because I'm going to try to be like, okay, I did something. You don't got to put it in the comments, but just for you. And this is going to make somebody laugh, what I did. But for me, it was good enough, right? So in the, week or whatever time that passed, I got on my stepper. I did 100 steps. Then I got on it again, I think the next day or the day after, and did 135 steps. So I'm happy about that. And I know that's corny for somebody, but for me, it's good, right? And then I did some squats. I did 2 sets of 10, so only 20 squats. But prior to that, I did none of that. So the goal is the next time we talk, you and I talk, right? I'm going to be doing more stuff, and not just exercise, but like other stuff. So we're going to get into like where I'm at with like work and stuff like that. Did you go to college? Did you go to graduate school? Yes and yes. Okay, so then why aren't you in some corporate job? I was and was, right? Why aren't you not still in that? What happened? So right now in my mountain town, in addition to our small dog grooming business, which again, like I said, is suffering. It's just it's suffering. It's a lot going on here in our town financially, and just other stuff we'll get into. But in addition to that, I'm doing a lot of gig work. So one thing that transpired between speaking to you the last time and now, I got another gig, which I'm excited about. I'm doing like house manager work, and we'll get into all that. And so I literally have like 5 different things going on right now, gig work. And we're going to get into that because I know a lot of YouTubers talk about that too, like side hustles and things like that. And that is important because before that, we had nothing. We literally, and we're still in a place where we're like, again, if you're a Christian, you understand cloud by day, fire by night, where it's like, literally like you're waiting on the Lord. Like if the Lord don't come through tonight, we don't have it type thing. Like we've been living like that. No joke. And for the fact that in a week since I last talked to you, whenever it was, that something came into my lap for me to get more income, it's testament to the Lord's faithfulness. And not that he hasn't been faithful leading up to this point, but just knowing that God, you got my back. And I've been praying, like, I want to increase my income. That's the only way to get out of it. I can't just wish my way out of this financial mess, right? And like we said before, like I told you last time, there's also relational mess. And then I'll be talking to you in the next time about what we're doing to get out of that. But we're doing these things step by step, little by little, gonna be learning, falling, learning, growing, but we're doing it together. And if you're in a situation like this, let's join together, like I said, to get out of this mess. But at the same time, enjoying the joys that are in it, because there are some. And we have to thank God for the things that he does do, right? Because he's always doing something good. So thank you for putting up with this video. And my dog is right here at my foot, and I'm just so thankful he's not barking. Okay, love you. Thank you. Mwah. Bye.